What is up? This is Rosie, and I'm here to give you guys another book review. But in this one, I'm going to do two books because they just happen to be novellas. So for my birthday back in July, my bestie gave me 3 books that I've been wanting for a while. And they are 3 books from the Filthy Rich Alphas series that Wright has done, and the 3 books are novellas. Over the weekend, I reread the first 2, and they are called Adrian and Maceo. And so the first one, Adrian, he is a 25-year-old CEO of his father's company, Ford Enterprises. I believe that is the name of the company, Ford Enterprises. So Adrian Ford works for his father, Nick Ford. And Nick is 50 years old, very successful, and a relentless womanizer. And he follows this pattern with all the women that he sees. Well, in this case, it is 35-year-old Carmen, who is a successful author of a book called Concrete Rose. She has another 9 novels besides that one, but those are not named. And Nick bought the rights, the movie rights and everything for Concrete Rose, and I think it was like a $4 million deal or something. But anyway, he starts to court Carmen, and at first she turned him down. She was like, no, I don't think so, because she had just broken up with someone. He was her fiance, I think, of 5 years, and his name is Paul. And Paul went to medical school and cheated on her. Well, anyway, the way Nick finally wins her over is by using words. And they are not his own words. They are his son's words. And Adrian is in love with her. He's actually in love with her. Nick just wants the conquest. He woos her. He takes her on trips. He buys her meals. He takes her on walks. And then after a few weeks, boom, down on his knee, will you marry me? And she accepts. And once she does, he moves her into his huge mansion. And he's the type that once he gets the woman into his mansion, game over. He can start looking somewhere else. And so, because of his neglect of her, she forges this friendship and bond with his son, Adrian. And Adrian is not only deeply in love with her, he is very deeply in lust with her. Sorry about that, you guys. I really hate living out here. I'll be so glad when I can have a studio. But anyway, he forges this relationship, this friendship with Carmen by using words, of course. They have philosophy debates. They debate probably politics. And they have poetry battles, and they drink wine and just talk until the sun is up. And Carmen doesn't realize that she is being courted by Adrian. She just sees it as a deep friendship. Now, these books have very seductive, erotic art. So when you turn to the first page and you see an illustration of what is being described on the pages to follow, it makes you want to keep flipping those pages. It was very interesting. I'm not going to say what it was, though. But, Nick does something to make Carmen realize that not only does he not love her, not only does he not really even want her, but he's doing wrong by her, and so she makes up her mind to just end the engagement and leave. And Yeah, so things happen after that. I'm not going to say what because I want you to read this yourself. So I'm going to leave the link in the description for you to pick this book up. And I give this one a 4.5 out of 5 stars because, and only because, I felt like Nick didn't get his comeuppance. Maybe he did, but it would have been more satisfying for me to have had a description or something of his reaction to the things that happened at the end of the book. But anyway, the second book is called Maceo. In this one, Christine is the owner of a male review club in Miami. And basically it's just a male strip club, but it's male review. And she leaves for work one morning and steps out of her car only to realize that her club has finally flooded. Her doofus brothers, Dylan and Douglas, told her that the squeaking and sounds that the pipes made whenever anybody used the faucets were normal. And then lo and behold, the pipes bust. So she has her phone to look up the best plumbing company in Miami. And it came up with, I think it's Moreno and Sons, which had a score of 4.5 out of 5 review score. So she had the phone to call that number, and as the phone rings, she's having this discussion with her friend Maria about equating sex and dancing and how they relate to each other. And as she is explaining things to Maria, Maceo picks up the phone and he's like, "Excuse me?" So, yeah, that's how that happened. And when they heard his voice, it was like very smooth and sensual. His voice was deep and like butter. And the way I pictured it was kind of like his voice sounds speaking like John Cicada's voice sounds when he sings. That's kind of how I saw it. But anyway. So she kind of like works her way past that, apologizes for what he heard, because at first he started kind of playing off what she said and was kind of being sensual with her using plumbing terms. And then she finally was like, "Look, if you're not going to take this seriously, then I'm just going to hang up with you and find someone who will." And that was when he realized that she wasn't playing around, because he had these friends who would have women call him and flirt with him using plumbing terminology. And so he was kind of playing off that. And he realized that she was serious, and he makes an appointment with her to see her that day to come and find out what is wrong with her pipes and see what he can do to fix it. And as she goes into her club, and there's blankets and towels and whatever else they can use to soak up the water from the floor, they have the tryouts. And then they turn around, and the way she puts it, sex walked through the door. He was wearing this nicely tailored suit made to fit his muscular frame, and he is tan because he's Latino, and he is just so fine. And that's the way she said it. She said he was fine, but when you looked at him, you had to form your mouth so that the word came out as fine. Oh gosh, I love these books. But anyway, he saw her and was just as enchanted with her. He loved her luscious curves and her beautiful face, and she was just, I guess I would say lusty to him. He was just lusting after her. And he just saw something in her that he wanted to claim and own for himself, but not in a possessive way, but just in a way in which he was like, look, if there's other competition, that's fine, but, you know. So that's how things went. She didn't want a relationship because she just wanted to concentrate on her business, and he wasn't having any of it. He treated her to a picnic on her roof because the roof was made in which you could throw parties and barbecues and such on the roof. He brought some trees up there. Yes, they were potted trees, but they were still trees. And blankets and all kinds of delectable desserts, cheesecakes, chocolate-covered strawberries, wine, finger sandwiches, you name it. And they fed each other and they talked for hours and fell asleep on the roof because they were both pretty drunk. Anyway, the next day, she was still resistant to him, and she was like, look, I can't date you. I just want to run my business and become successful and da 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 da. And so he basically gave her a taste of what she would be missing. Didn't let her have the full thing. He just gave her a sample. And when she was still resistant and she was like, look, you can't tell me that I can't share my body with who I am because I'm my own woman, he just stopped things in their tracks and he looked at her and said, yes, you are your own woman. And he walked out. She didn't realize that just that little sample that he gave her would make her crave him. She wanted to see what the rest was that he could do. And with him wooing her and spoiling her, cleaning her office, which was a huge pigsty and disorganized, and he exchanged the pipes, he redid the pipes in her whole entire club, which would have been like a $25,000 to $30,000 job. He did it for free because all he wanted was a bit of her time. And she didn't even want to give that to him. And when she really stopped to think about it, she was starting to get mad because she was like, how dare this guy come into my life and make me want to change, you know. But at the same time, he was doing things for her that no other man would dare take the time to do. And so when she got drunk with her brothers and her best friend one night at the bar after hours, Dylan and Douglas were like, well, Chrissy, why don't you date him? We really like him. He's a great guy. And honestly, you're not dating anyone else, so what's the problem? And so after getting drunk with them one night, she kind of realized that they were right. And so I'm going to stop right there with this review and let you read the rest. And I will also put the link to this book in the description. I think you guys would have fun with these two books. I know I did. And I have a third one that is called Wolf. And hell, why not? Wolf is a street artist. And his street art became so legendary, not only in Miami, but pretty much all around the world. And his art depicted social commentary, racism, the plight of the poor. You know, it was just all kinds of things that he depicted in his art. And he never got caught, so no one knows who Wolf is. But he became a billionaire, I believe, from his artwork. And he was in love with and pretty much obsessed with this artist named Red. She had red, fluffy hair, and she was pretty much as talented as he was. And she loved Wolf's art. He was her inspiration to do what she does. And what she didn't know was that at night he would follow her to see what her next artwork would be. And so finally he wants to meet her, so he throws this 420 party. And I'm pretty sure that many people the world over knows what 420 is and what it means. And so he throws a 420 party, and she comes with her two friends. I forgot what her two friends' names were because I haven't read these books since July. But anyway, they come to the party, and she meets him on the roof. I don't know what this thing with roofs are in these books. But anyway, she meets him on the roof. They talk for a while, and he kind of spooks her a little bit. But just before she leaves, one of his friends stop her, and she meets with him again, and she's resistant, of course, but he finally tells her, I want to paint with you. I want to create art with you. So they do paint together. And that leads to other things, and they talk and they share. They just bond that way. And I'm not gonna tell the rest. I just wanted to give a little teaser of what Wolf is about, because if I don't, then I'm going to tell you the whole entire book, and I don't want to do that. Plus, that wasn't one of the books that I read over the weekend, because I had to read these books again to remember what the stories were about. But I'm going to leave the links to all 3 books in the description, and this is where I'm going to end it, because I am running out of words. Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for wasting time with me. As always, there is a donations link in the description. If you guys would hit that, help me out, support me, support the channel, I would truly appreciate that. But for now, you guys, I'm going to go. Share, like, subscribe, and comment. I would really appreciate that as well. And I hope to see y'all again on the next upload. Bye for now.